Jumping into our warm-up, we start with some quick cardio, so we're doing some THERABAND skipping, bouncing on the toes and looking to get a bit of spring going through the body. You make circles with the THERABAND. You can increase the resistance by wrapping the THERABAND around your wrists more, and you can work the circles bigger or smaller. It's fairly self-explanatory. Then at the end, you can make some circles with the THERABAND just to get the shoulders warmer and moving, and you can go one way, the other way, and also backwards and forwards like so. The idea is just to get movement around the shoulder girdle rather than stretching it per se. Jumping the legs into a medium to wide stance, we're looking for a position that the knees can track over the top of the feet in the same alignment. If you go narrower, you can develop more ankle mobility. If you go a bit wider, it often feels a bit more stable. You're looking to keep grounded through both feet as you practice the exercise. Push down through the forearm into the upper thigh to create some resistance. So forearm to upper thigh, resistance, reach far overhead. See how the armpit and palm face more down rather than up. A different variation is to work lower and reaching through the THERABAND. You can create again some resistance between the shoulder and the inner thigh muscles to help work the hips open. For a bit more of a challenge, you can start to extend the arms under the leg so the back of the shoulder or the top of the shoulder presses into the underneath of the knee. You strongly ground down through the back foot, so you keep the back foot pushing down as you push the whole torso forwards. So you can create quite a lot of resistance in this exercise while you also stretch the THERABAND. So then you come back to centre. So dropping down to the floor for another round of quick cardio, we've got mountain climbers this time where we're springing the knees towards the chest. See how springy you can make the exercise feel, and a variation is taking the knees out to the side around the edge of the shoulders. Again, you're looking for that sort of springy action as the leg pops up one way and goes back down, and pops up the other way, goes back down. So now set up in your iso lunge position, but strongly press down through that front foot to ensure the THERABAND is nice and firm on the ground so that it doesn't spring back up during the exercise. Then you press down on the front leg, create your own resistance and take the band up and down. You can start off with the knee down and then you can extend the leg back like so to make it harder. You're aiming sort of 5 to 10 reps. Afterwards you go down into a lizard lunge. You might know different variations by now. So the idea is you hover the heel, so you're on the ball of the big toe, and then you learn to hover the hands while remaining nice and stable. To advance the exercise, you might go down onto the forearms and repeat the same thing. See how it's a balancing exercise as well as being nice and engaged. As a harder variation, you can extend the back leg with the heel down on the front, or you can lift the heel and jump back up. Having another look on the other side, if you get the resistance of the THERABAND right, not too strong or not too weak, you can really start to feel a stretch from the back knee all the way through the front of the body up into the armpit and above. So you're looking to feel length down the whole front of the body. It gives you this sort of sense of springiness as you push back through the back heel. So remembering we're still in the warm-up phase, we're going into the lizard lunge, and you can just ease into it from whatever level you're working at. So you don't need to go too far too soon, and you just gradually ease into the exercise. So you might do a couple of reps in an easier variation and then start to progress it. So you can also, once you progress the exercise, start to learn to spring up out of it. The key with this exercise is to keep the lower belly on the upper thighs as you squeeze the middle back together more than the upper back, keeping the arms nice and wide. Over time, you work from quite a low squat into a medium squat into a much higher sort of position where the legs can eventually go fully straight. So at whatever level you're working at, when you finish, you can hold the legs and do a bit of a forward fold. So it's really important not to have a fight with the hamstrings in this and just work at a level where you can comfortably reside for say 10 seconds or so, and then over time you'll find that naturally the hamstrings get longer. So then we come to a crouching position where we're essentially sitting on the heels. Keep the heels lifted to begin with as you make the rotations. So we're aiming to rotate the centre of the chest more than send the arm back. So you're aiming to roll the whole torso open by pressing into the ground and reaching upwards, and you can create a certain amount of resistance between the arm and the leg. Now when we go into a full squat, if it's available, you can start to rotate the body even more by creating that resistance between the leg and the arm as you reach up. Remembering it's the center of the chest we're trying to open and reach nice and wide. So you shouldn't be throwing the head around in this exercise. It should come more from the torso and leave you with a sort of sense of springiness through the front of the body.